Hey, so I just want to jump on real quick again and say a couple of things. So I'm gonna lay off of distance learning because I have an update for that I'm going to upload later to various channels, a couple different platforms, only because YouTube is the censorship at YouTube is top notch, and I want to be able to speak freely as this progresses. So the update on distance learning is coming. The update today, though, is on the culture wars, the insult of calling someone a Karen, and how that whole thing is probably just another way to disenfranchise and break down the family by breaking down the mother. Okay, so I kind of covered in the first two videos how this has primarily impacted women the most. Not that was any surprise to anybody. I mean, whenever you add extra work, it defaults to the woman, just like all of the child care arrangements, and all the things. So the thing that I'm really touched by, though, I've been getting phone calls and text messages and private messages from people on Facebook that I had not heard from in a while, and we had such long and interesting conversations, especially catching up with people that I haven't seen or heard from in a while. So that's awesome. So thank you. What I gathered from a lot of those conversations is that there are a lot of us who feel like the way I've described, that feel like this is not ideal for their children's education, like it puts too much of a burden on moms, like it prevents us from working, which is like a real issue. I mean, if you care anything about women's liberation, feminist issues at all, like just that should be a concern to people. And I think that's why it really, the support has come from really both sides of the aisle, though one side more than the other, but it truly is like a bipartisan issue. So, you know, the only thing I hate to say, and I hate to bring politics into it, is that, you know, where distance learning is happening is in states that are still shut down. 2 weeks to slow the curve 8 months ago, right? And who's running those areas? You know, do the research for yourself. Believe absolutely nothing that I say. Please don't. I lie. I'm just as human and sinful as anyone else on this great planet we live on. And don't believe anything I say. Go figure it out for yourself. Go look at what states are open. Go look at what states have the highest death tolls, which states implemented what programs, which states put their elderly, put COVID positive patients of all ages in with their elderly COVID patients without proper protocols being in place. Look at where those things happen. Like, research those things for yourself before you go and cast an ignorant ballot at the beginning of November. Please, I beg of you. Society begs of you collectively to educate yourself and make smart decisions, not based on what you heard from the television, but on your own research, please. Women are afraid to speak up, and they're glad that somebody has a voice, but like, who am I? I don't know anything. I'm about to learn now. See, the last couple of times that I got really involved deep into a topic, I became a master of those things. And that's where this is going, because what the school system and the education system is lacking is the educated opinions of moms. I encourage each of you to speak out. If you can't speak out on a platform, great. That's fine. You can speak out to one person, and you can get your opinion to one person, and you can change one mind, and we can all do that. And one person at a time, we can shift how things are going to go for our children moving forward. The other thing, the term Karen, I really believe was implemented just to demean women, you know? So that if you say anything, you're Karen. If you complain about the shutdown, you're a Karen. If you don't complain about the shutdown, you're a Karen. And, you know, there's no good There's no good way about it. You're either a Karen or you're a bootlicker. Guess what I would rather be? So thank you for everybody, the messages. The update for distance learning is coming. I really want to hear how this week is going, like what week of distance learning other people are on. I spoke to somebody who pulled all of her children and has begun homeschooling just this week because the distance learning was creating such misery and chaos in her house. Another one whose child urinated in a closet because they felt afraid that their teacher would not let them go to the bathroom and they would get in trouble. So, these stories are like heartbreaking, but are universally heartbreaking. And I'm just not going to stop speaking out. I'm not going to stop complaining. And I don't care, where we go from here. But I really do hope that each of you takes the time to research these topics and, takes the time to consider what is really best for the kids. And I don't mean looking at COVID numbers, because that's only one consideration. We can still take the disease seriously. We can still take the precautions seriously, but we have to do so in light of the actual numbers. I mean, we have to stop looking at case counts and start looking at death rates. And if you start looking and comparing those numbers, there's just no reason for distance education. There isn't. It's only the political influence of the teachers' unions and of unions it's only because of the persuasion of a particular side of the political aisle that distance education is even a thing. And it's happening more in one color states than the other. And no, I'm not talking about black or white. Talking about red or blue. So please go ahead, start looking. You still have some time before the election. If you want me to get into more political stuff, I will, but right now I'm just sticking to the distance learning, and I'm only going to touch on politics in the way that it affects that topic. So the next video I do is going to be a review, a wrap-up of distance education, what I learned from talking to so many of you this week, and what's going to happen moving forward, where we're at. And that video will be forthcoming.